30 seconds. 30-second warning. Oh, yeah. Does anybody have any more sheets? Does anybody have any more sheets? I got sheets from 3 people that wish to speak tonight. Anybody else? All right, it's 7 o'clock. We'll call our meeting to order.
First item on the agenda is recognition of Rossville FFA. Go right ahead, Ms.
Hey, I'm going to try not to take too much of your time, but good evening. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to be here this evening and in support of our students, specifically our FFA members. If you do not know me, my name is Brittany Mead, and I am one of 3 of our agricultural educators and FFA advisors here at Rossville. And I'm also serving as the department chair over CTE courses, so excited to be here to recognize these guys. This evening I'd like to highlight the recent achievements and accomplishments of our outstanding FFA members and as well as our volunteers. We could not do what we do without the efforts of our students and embarrassingly successful in several of our endeavors. You know it's a good thing when Rossville is repeated over and over and over again at award ceremonies and contests for presentations. When we participate, we show up, and everyone knows that Rossville FFA is in the room. In June, we were recognized as a top 10 Indiana FFA chapter at the state convention at Purdue University, and we were recognized in the category of Model of Innovations for the ways that we show up and we serve our community. There are over 220 chapters in the state of Indiana, and to be in the top 10 is a huge, huge accomplishment. In October, we advanced to the national finalists, and we were recognized as an outstanding top national FFA chapter, and we were given the award of a national 2-star chapter, one of the highest achievements for an FFA chapter to receive annually. This is out of 9,163 FFA chapters in all 50 states, including Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. Jumping right into our contest spotlight, I would like the forestry team to go ahead and come on up so I can talk about you guys for a split second. In November, we had several students that competed in our fall career development events, bringing home a first place win and a state champion title for state FFA forestry was the team of Cadence Emmenheiser, Michaela Spray, Emerson Hill, and Colton Davis. Cadence was 3rd overall out of 204 individuals, which is awesome. Congratulations. And then our second place team in the 4-H division was Lewis Miller, Aiden Root, Ryan Wolf, and Zach Hubler. And Aiden was 2nd overall, and Lewis was 6th out of their division with 37. If you could give these guys a round of applause. Yeah, that'd be great. Next, if I have any of my horse judging gals here, I don't know if I do, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about them because they did something pretty incredible. At National Convention, we also had our national qualifying horse judging team pictured here with their coach, Bessie Neubauer. These ladies competed in November, and Bailey Schlutenhofer placed gold, Hannah and Allie Neubauer placed silver, and Natalie Ritchie placed bronze, receiving a bronze medal for their team. And just want to give a big thank you, even though she's not here, to Bessie for all the time that she has given to our program. And this contest specifically, those ladies brought home a national qualifying plaque that is now in the ag room, and those are few and far between and hard to achieve. And so to have one of those is a very big feat, and we're really excited about that for those girls. Heading to the next one is our crop judging team. So if those guys could come up along with Mr. Phil Carter, their coach. Come on up. Our crops team placed 4th in the state with Natalie Ritchie, Madison Skiles, Leif Eller, and Blake Fearnow. Natalie Ritchie placed 7th out of 172. And we do want to give a huge, huge thank you to Mr. Phil Carter for the endless hours that he gives to this program. If you're not aware, he not only coaches our crops team, he also coaches our entomology team as well as our soils teams. And we have had great success because of the time that he has given to our program. And he is one that we're going to keep around for as long as we possibly can because we greatly appreciate him. So if you could give these guys a round of applause. I would like to recognize, if you guys could come on. And they were also coached by Mr. Phil Carter. Our second place team for entomology included Adeline Dunderman, Eleanor Sharp, Jackson Pattengill, and Shirley Yeagley. Eleanor was 7th individual, and Adeline was 9th in the state out of 57 in the junior division. And I think it's important to point out here that Eleanor and Adeline both actually tied for first within our area contest. And so they both have been very competitive. They all have been very competitive within this contest, but have had great success throughout this endeavor. So congratulations. You guys can have a seat. If the welding gentleman could join me in the front. This is kind of a pre-announcement of sending them off and wishing them well. These guys are going to be competing at state welding on Saturday with Mr. Jesse Davis. This is on the 20th. Nick Bush, Colton Heater, Colton Crum, Wyatt Patrick, and Blake Fearnow. Nick Bush actually won the district with welding, which is a pretty high accomplishment. We like to think we're fairly competitive in District 5 specifically with this contest, and so to have this many advancing to the state contest is outstanding. So wish these guys good luck as they compete on Saturday. And then my last few things, and I'll let you guys move along. But we have had a lot of great success, and I think Rossville FFA is known for that. It has been known for that. I don't take credit for that. I'm just doing my very best to carry it on and to help it continue. But we could not do what we do without the support of community members, several that are here tonight, and the students who were also recognized tonight, not only for contests, but for the time that they give to volunteer and to help with the events that we host. We're actually taking a ski trip on Saturday to recognize those guys for their efforts and all that they do to help us. We did a little bit of math just for fun to see how many people we've served and what that looks like. And we've served approximately 7,450 pounds of pork chops in total for the fall of 2023 alone. With local meals including the pulled pork dinner, the pork chop dinner, the fall Feed the Farmers event at harvest time, as well as the Santa breakfast, we have fed 2,750 individual local meals just to the Rossville community, so not counting anybody outside. Some of which are fundraisers and others are partnerships with companies like CFS and Rob Miller, free of charge. So a big thank you again for those who continue to support programs like that. A lot of the money that we do raise from the events we host goes directly back to several community service projects, scholarship opportunities for our soon-to-be graduating seniors, and then all expense paid opportunities so that our students don't have to worry about those costs. And then just a final thank you again, enough for not only the support of our students, but volunteers, the time that you guys give to our program. People like Bessie Neubauer and Mr. Phil Carter, we could not do it without them. And we appreciate that several of you see the value in why we do what we do. We do firmly believe that we reach more students than any given opportunity because agriculture and FFA truly is for everyone. And I don't think that's just my biased opinion. I think that's the truth. Giving our students the opportunity to explore their passions and interests is at the core of why we do what we do, and advancing their college and career readiness is implemented into the mission of our program. And at Rossville, we are learning to do, we're doing to learn, earning to live, and living to serve. And I thank you again for your time this evening and for cheering these kids on.
The next spotlight is on the school board. This is January's School Board Appreciation Month, and Mrs. Washburn's here as well on behalf of the RCTA to say a few words.
Yeah, sure. As you said, January is School Board Recognition Month, and Rossville Schools is proud to acknowledge our school board members, our esteemed members, and their constant dedication and their commitment to our schools. Dr. Hannah has expressed how pivotal your role is in shaping the district's future and fostering our students' success. The school board functions as an essential link between the community and the classroom. The members are instrumental in establishing policies that provide the necessary framework for the district's public schools. The Rossville School Board oversees over $1 million annual budget that caters to the educational needs of 927 students and manages a staff of 133 employees. So under this excellent leadership of you guys, of our school board, the Rossville School District has provided students with opportunities to achieve notable milestones, like the ones we heard about tonight, but across agriculture as well as academics and the arts, as we heard about a couple of months ago, with Alexis Troyer being in the congressional building with her artwork. So these are all part and go back to all of the work that you guys do, as well as within the athletics. And you guys help provide a safe and secure school environment where students can learn and grow, and that is extremely commendable. So as part of the School Board Recognition Month, myself, as the president of the Rossville Classroom Teachers Association, wanted to add my praise as well as Dr. Hannah's praise on the impact that you guys have on our community and your year-round commitment, not just in January, to ensuring that the community has a voice in the education-making decisions, that you are tying us together, right? The school as well as the community. So I urge the community also to praise and express your gratitude and support for our board members, Joe Hufford, Nathan Root, and Julie Mink, as well as Nathan McCullough and Gentry Pendleton, who are not here. So we have some certificates for you as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, sure. FFA folks and others, if you want to leave, generally this is the point where people get up and leave. You can stay for the entire meeting. You're more than welcome. But if you follow Mr. Need to leave,
I have a kid at home, sorry.
that's okay.
I have a little
You can go if you want. It's up to you.
Thank you.
Sure. So, public comment, the meeting is a meeting with the Board of Education and public for the purpose of conducting school board business, school corporation business. Sorry, the meeting is not being considered a public meeting. Handout of the agenda items about to be presented to the board were available at the sign-in table for patrons to review. A registration form is provided at the sign-in table for patrons desiring the opportunity to speak at the beginning of the meeting. And the agenda items registration is required to the sign-in for patrons desiring to speak. If anyone hasn't turned in a registration form to address the board, please do so now. I've got 3 here at this time. The board has established specific guidelines, specific rules to guide the presiding officer. Those rules were outlined in the registration form will be followed. This must be recognized by the proceeding officer or me and must preface their comments by announcing their name, address, and the organization represented if applicable. Each statement made by a participant shall be limited to 3 minutes. Duration was known by the 3 minutes. The presiding officer may limit the total allotted time for the summary. Participant may speak more than once on the same topic. All statements shall be directed to the proceeding officer. No person may address their question to board members individually. The board is willing to give comments at this meeting. The board will listen but may not respond to questions or questions. Okay, with that, I got more. No person may speak or discuss at any meeting of the Board of Education any charges or complaints against employees of the school district without first presenting such charges or complaints to the Board of Education, who is superintendent in writing, sign, and verify the person group. Making such charge or complaint, if complaint is about the superintendent, it shall be forwarded to the president of the Board of Education. The presiding officer may terminate the person's privilege or address for persistent violations of rules of conduct and declare the person out of order for the above violation of rules. The presiding officer will now call upon the president. For the general comments, the board will pause in each agenda to take comments on those agenda items. And actually, we won't be pausing on those tonight because I don't have anybody that's asked to speak on agenda items that are making the meeting. I've got 3 requests for public comments, so we will take those at this time. So the first person I've got is Carla.
Donna Metzler. I live on Main Street. I have been here at Rossville Schools since 1995. So what my thing is to talk about Light of Rossville before Mr. Thompson. And I kind of really proud. The first reason we moved here is because we got transferred. We moved to Rossville and picked Rossville schools because Rossville was the #1 school out of counties all around that was the best school. And we wanted our children to have a good education. We picked Rossville, moved to Rossville. We have many good, excellent teachers from Mrs. DeCarlo, Mrs. Ashelman and the letter people, and Mrs. Gilliland and the singing singers, to all the, the Mrs. Fay, Mr. Miller, Mrs. Miller, all the teachers that started that education to get those kids on the right path. My kids were on honor rolls every time. We got in, my first born was the first middle school student in the 7th grade. We got started with the PALS group. We have parents, students, teachers, administrators. Dr. Hannah was there at every awards day cooking those hot dogs for the kids in the pouring rain one year because I had to go let him in. We've had many students do many great things. One of the students in my daughter's class painted the current Rossville emblem that's on in the gyms and stuff. She went on to, I think she went to Chicago. She's doing great things in art. We've had students who become doctors, police officers, and many of my children's friends were sons and daughters of policemen, and went on to carry that on. My kids, all of them went to college. 2 of them actually graduated in their degrees. They didn't find jobs in their degrees, but they are still working and doing very well in their professions. I was here all the time from 1st grade with Mrs. Gilliland and learning their T's and T's and all the school plays and learning left hand from right hand from the current senior class, and they just left because Emerson was one of my students. And we did coaching, Coach for Kids. We've been here from Dale Griffin, from Janelle Baker, from Scott Abbott, from all those educators who made Rossville known throughout the state. No matter where we went, parents would tell me, "Oh, you're from Rossville. I've heard of you." Okay, sorry, my time's up, so I didn't do all 4 hours. But I share students with a couple of board members. Our kids grew up together. They are excellent students. They've gone on to do great work. And we've had great principals too that had to go on because, well, Mrs. Schunker was a very good, she was one of our second middle school principal, but she had small children, and I'm going to leave now because I can go on and on. But I felt like I had to let remember what life was like way back too, and it's continuing on today, which is good.
Next I have, I believe it's Jeremiah Terry, is that, did I say that?
I want to again thank the board for taking the time to hear me today. I have a very quick thing I just want to talk about. I want to talk about cybersecurity at the school because there have been things that have just been said by other people that I just want to go on record now saying that it's concerning. And whether it be that I know that we've hired someone, we have someone in the school that has that job. But I wonder if there's something that we can also do to have a third party come in and look at the cybersecurity of the schools. Not just high school or middle school, but also the elementary. There are jobs out there now that people do tests on cybersecurity. And if you were to just maybe look at one of those at some point in time to help refresh the school systems, get us up to date with cybersecurity everywhere, my main concern is we can't have security footage also missing time anymore. Like that's a huge thing. If security footage is going to be implemented around the schools, we can't be missing security footage. It needs to be there and accessible for the time frame that it's supposed to be accessible for. That is the main thing I wanted to talk about today. Thank you.
Thank you. And the last item is from Jackie Fauci.
Still Foshi.
I'm sorry.
Still Foshi.
Fauci, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
I'll get it right.
So I'm Jackie Foshi, and y'all have heard me every month now for a few months. So I wanted to come in with something different this month and thank the board and Dr. Hannah for your responsiveness in the last month. I've had consistent communication with multiple board members and Dr. Hannah now. There's been a change in the policy regarding, or I think that's up for second read tonight, regarding the ability for students to carry emergency medications. The head nurse has met with teachers. There's been clarification on access to administration communicated with staff. I continue to work with Ryland's care team to provide more educational documentation that's appropriate for staff at this time. And the only thing I really have left is to request the board to consider utilizing their authority provided in the board policy, section 1000, code 1451, that allows you to create an advisory committee to the board that could look into efficacy, safety, and improvements in the nurse's office. We have significant expertise both on this board and in the community. The community does continue to show that they're invested and present for this board. The new policy voted on in December that makes Rossville the special education hub passed last month. You guys voted on that. And with that, first of all, Rossville's special education program is leaps and bounds ahead of programs in other counties. It is. My nephew is in a special education program in one of the Tiffany County schools and does not see the type of inclusion that kids here at Rossville get. But with that being said, there's going to be an increase in kids with chronic and complex medical issues. Medical care is part of education, and we really can't expect our children to thrive if we're not ensuring appropriate documentation patterns and creating a healthy health culture for both the staff in the nurse's office and our students. So really, that's my only ask left, is to truly consider that, because there are still some gaps there, that, we're just located throughout the course of looking at everything. And that those desperately need to be looked at if we're gonna be bringing up with kids, because my kid's loud. Y'all have heard from him that not every kid that's gonna come through that nurse's office is gonna be able to advocate for themselves the way that some of the kids are. That's a big concern for me as a healthcare professional. That's all I have.
Thank you.
First item on the agenda is approval of minutes, consideration claims and payroll. It was a regular session on the 12th of December and also an executive session on the 12th. The fund bank reports are also been supplied for the review.
Been properly moved and seconded to approve the minutes, claims, and payrolls as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. The motion carries.
January meeting is the reorganization meeting, so the board will vote on a president, vice president, and secretary, and also make appointments of members.
I move to nominate Jacob as president. I move to nominate Nathan Root as vice president, and I move to nominate Anthony Paul
Been properly moved and seconded to nominate Joe Hufford as president, Nathan Root as vice president, and Nathan Cullen as secretary. Is there any discussion? Or will be the same as it was last year? So much. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
The board also appoints members, one of the members is the ISBA delegate, the athletic council representative, and the scholarship committee representative. So those are four that the board considered tonight. I thought, was that? Yeah, I'm not sure, did you do scholarship? Okay. I thought you
We
did.
can make changes since you. Make it Jennifer. All right, we'll do it.
You want to jump in?
Sure.
Okay, I move we appoint Gentry Pendleton as the ISBA delegate.
No.
Gentry would be the scholarship.
The scholarship committee, okay.
So
Who do we want as the
ISBA delegate is
ISBA?
you.
Nathan? Okay, then I move we appoint Nathan, who's the ISBA delegate. Nathan McCall is athletic council representative, and Gentry Pendleton is the scholarship.
Properly moved and seconded to appoint Nathan Root, make sure I got the right Nathan, as ISBA delegate, Nathan McCullough as athletic council representative, and Gentry Pendleton as scholarship committee representative. You should have not been. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Yeah.
Consideration of appointments of personnel, the treasurer is Mandy Pennington, deputy treasurer is Garrett Cornell, and I'm been named the HEPA officer for the corporation.
I move to appoint the treasurer, deputy treasurer, and the HEPA officer.
Been properly moved and seconded to appoint the treasurer, deputy treasurer, and HIPAA officer as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. That motion carries.
Consideration of position, an elementary school would like to hire a tier 2 instructional assistant, to provide instruction and help manage our students in our special ed department. Position would be identified for the intense needs students. The elementary has noted an increase in intense needs students this year, and the number of special education students has increased as well. And this additional position would help with the IEPs. And just to clarify, as we move forward with Clinton County Joint Services, it's not bringing more kids here. If we have more kids, they're probably our kids. It is the services we provide through currently the Boone Clinton County Joint Services with your, is the psychologist, speech language, psychologist, occupational therapist, physical therapist, and also those two positions are contracted, consultant, and director, and then administrative assistant. So those positions are the ones that come about where Central Clinton Prairie and Rossville is going to go. The second thing on the agenda concerning personnel is resignations. So Matt Padgett has submitted a resignation as an instructional assistant. That is effective December 22nd, 2023. And Audrey Buck submitted her letter of resignation effective December 22nd, 23 as well as an assistant principal in High School. Appointments, Chad Dennis is recommending Elizabeth Walty as a tier 1 preschool instructional assistant position. She began her duties today. And Mr. Dennis is also recommending Christy Almo for tier 1 instructional assistant for speech language services. We're currently working to secure a speech language pathologist. And then Dustin Shadbolt is recommending Nicholas Warford as a position of a technology assistant. That was effective yesterday. Mrs. Elliott's recommending Dora Salias as for the open cafeteria part-time position. Her salary and benefits are per the handbook for cafeteria staff. Also appointments, Mr. Thompson recommending Corey Dunn as administrative assistant for the remainder of the 23-24 school year. Mr. Dunn will be compensated $5,000 for additional duties for the spring of 2024. And he's recommending Mr. Marshall Crawford for the physical education position, which was vacated by Mr. Dunn when he moved to administrative assistant position. He will begin his duties on January 15th and will be on a temporary contract for the remainder of the 23-24 school year. Salary will be $22,000. Appointments, Mr. Thompson, Mr. Burkle recommending girls volleyball, or basketball, sorry, girls basketball volunteer coaches, use facilities for fourth grade, Janelle Pattengale, Kurt Pattengale, Brianna Hopper, Darren Hopper, and Tracy Mitchell. Third grade is Tyler Rudd and Nikki DeBoy. And then I have, also under personnel consideration handbook, recommending updating the handbook and job description for the technology assistant. Changes fall in line with the needs of the school district, and also recommending updating the middle senior high school assistant principal job description. The changes are a result of Mr. Thompson reviewing the current description and aligning with the needs of the district. That's the personnel.
Been properly moved and second to approve the personnel items as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. That motion carries.
Policy items, we've worked with ISBA to update our policy manual. Currently trying to align our policy manual with their model policies. We are almost through that entire process, and so we'll get to start again once that's done. We have two policies to retire, and this is because of the change in law. Section 908 with student fees and charges because of curriculum material. There's no charge anymore, and 812 aligns with that as well, curriculum material rental fees, so both of those are retired effective once it's approved. First reading, on section 601 on rainy day fund, 6100 internal controls, 6210 purchase of supplies and materials, 7030 fixed assets and inventory, 7201 energy, 8513 political activities on school property. Most of those policies were in chapter 8, and those why they're changing the numbers. Consideration for a second read, so these would become active once they're approved this evening. If they're approved, section 1200, board organization officers. Section 4040, audio videotaping case conferences. 4200, student wellness and physical activity and nutrition. 4210, administration of medication. Rossville Consolidated School District Police Department is also in the process of updating and developing their policy manual. There are several policies there. 100, these are for a second read, law enforcement authority. 101, chief executive officer. 102, oath of office. 103, policy manual. 104, code of ethics. 200, organization and structure and responsibility. 201, general orders. 202, emergency operation plans. 203, training. 204, electronic mail. 205, administrative communication. 305, officer involved shootings and death. And 306, firearms. That's the policies up for first, second read, and also retirement.
I move to approve the policies as presented.
Been properly moved and second to approve the policies as presented. Is there any discussion? I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Section 4210 of the previous slide. Is it medication or medication? It's medication. Okay, great. Just want to make sure it says medication.
No, all right.
Okay, so the slide is wrong.
Yeah.
The verbal is correct. Okay,
Yes,
great.
yes.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. That motion carries.
Early literacy grant, Indiana Department of Education established the early literacy grant, achievement grant through House and Old Act 101-2023 to award schools and teachers for improving students' foundational reading skills as evidenced by iRead3 data. Grants awarded to cash stipends to teachers, instructional coaches, and other school staff responsible for the implementation of diversity of literacy and reading instruction through grade 3. The board has been provided with the amounts to be distributed and roster of the staff who are responsible for delivery of literacy and reading instruction. Recommending approval of that to be paid on the 19th. I'm sorry. Financial items also, consideration of donation to Terry, Jeremiah Terry donated two 3D printers, an Ender 3D2 Nero and Ender 5 Pro. And the Daughters of American Revolution donated a book from the Indiana Library Association of Rossville Schools, recommending approval of the donations.
And would we approve the financial items as presented?
Been properly moved and seconded to approve the financial items as presented. Is there any discussion?
Who gets to use
I think he has a total of 5 now. It's either 4 or 5, and so I'm not sure how to.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. That motion carries.
Surplus equipment, equipment's no longer needed. There's a lot of computer stuff that will probably end up going to e-waste. And I think the blade is on there. We have snow blade on there as well. And then, consideration of overnight conference request. Paul Mullins requested overnight stay at the Indiana Music Educators Association Professional Development Conference. This on January 11th through the 13th in Fort Wayne, recommending that overnight stay.
I move to approve the miscellaneous items as presented.
Properly moved and seconded to approve the miscellaneous items as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Field trips, FFA on the 20th, going to their ski trip, and I thought you said this weekend. Yeah, I don't know. So, and then FFA to the Leadership Summit on the 25th to Huntington.
Okay, at this time, I'll take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I so move.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. And with that, we are adjourned. Our next board meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, February 6th, 2024, at 7 p.m. Should be in this room. Did I say 26th? February 6th. It's February 6th.
It's a mediation.
Mediation.
Oh, yeah, hold on, not that bad.
Oh, we have one. Okay. Oh, now we have another meeting. It's the Board of
Yes.
Finance, sorry.
Calm down, don't go yet. So this is the Board of Finance. Now we're on seven. So, am I up? Okay, good. So the Board of Finance defined in compliance with state law, the Board of Education appoints the Board of Finance. The Board of Finance designate the public depository for the school funds for a 2-year period and reviews the investments annually. The membership of the Board of Finance shall be the Board of Education as per the Board Policy Section 1308. The President of the Board of Finance shall be the President of the Board. The Secretary of the Board of Finance shall be the Secretary of the Board. That's per Section 1308. Officers elected to hold the office until their successors are elected and qualified. The depositories, Regions Banks and First Financial are the current depositories for corporation funds, recommending maintaining those for the corporation.
I move to approve the depositories for corporation funds as presented.
Been properly moved and seconded to approve the depositories for the corporation as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. And motion carries.
Section 18, investment in public funds policy, authorizes the corporation treasurer to invest funds to the best benefit of the corporation. Investments are pursuant to Indiana law. The corporation currently does not have any funds invested. Check removal, there are outstanding checks that are 2 years old, are generally voided to clear them from the books. Vendors can submit a new claim voucher for the funds that are still due, asking authorization for the board to void the checks and outline that the board provided.
I move we approve the removal of those outstanding checks as presented.
Properly moved and seconded to approve the removal of the outstanding checks as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all of those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
There's several slides that come up next that shows you where we're at as far as the school corporation financially. And then those are, there's a link at the end of this that will take you to this site. If you actually go to the site, there's a line that they give you the school corporation at the top. When you open it up, it's Adams Central, so you've got to change it to Rossville. If not, you'll see Adams Central data. Believe us, we know because we've seen it over and over again. So basically, if you look at the percentage of free and reduced lunch, and that has changed over the years. So for the 10 years, it's gone up 3% from 2013, and it's continually the free and reduced lunch category seems to be higher. Next is the percentage of special education students. Again, this has tended to climb. Last year was 15.56, and so it rounded up to 15.6. And same way with this year, it's more 15.6. So there wasn't a huge jump in the last 2 years. It's fairly steady, but projections are, because of our students that we're seeing, that will probably increase. Percentage of students that are English language learners, you can see that we have a very small percentage here at Rossville. It's 0.7%, so under 1%. It's basically been that way for the past several years. You could have one student move in, that would have changed this. So, average daily membership, we're unfortunately holding steady around 927. Generally, we fall off in the spring. Statewide, that happens. It used to be the state we could pay off the fall count. Now they do a fall count pay and a spring count pay. And the reason they do that is there's about 8,000 students in the state of Indiana that don't show up on the spring count. So they pull that money back from the school corporation. Even though our costs haven't changed any, they pull the revenue back. Assessed valuation has actually gone up pretty good over the last several years. You can see we're at $332 million this year, up from $294 million last year. School corporation general fund balance and education fund balance is kind of plateaued there. It was $944 last year, it's $941 this year as we ended the year. So you can see how we've grown, and that's an important thing to have, just because of changes that happen from one year to the next. You don't necessarily know what you're going to face from one year to the next, and you want to make sure that you can pay payroll. Percentage of expenditures, you can see that we dropped a little bit, and so the indicators, the ability of the school corporation to maintain operations in the event of delays in revenue by utilizing existing fund balance to fund operations, and that's actually a good thing that it went down. Funds include balances, the education fund and operations fund. So because of the changes in the state and how we get financed, that amount has changed as well. School corporation financial condition, the source information comes from DUAB, which is the Stress Unit Appeals Board, and that lists their website. Again, if you go to their website, all that data is there, and you just got to change the icon or the listing at the top to make sure it says Rossville. Specific information can be defined or found on those financial indicators committee tab. Then the school corporation fiscal indicators, followed by the data download from all school corporations. The graphic presentation of the portion of the data can be accessed by clicking on the school corporation financial indicators tab. The DUAB website also provides instruction for use and location of the source of the data. So that's there as well. So with that, also, you have the consideration of conflict of interest. Conflict of interest disclosure. Indiana law requires public servants that have a pecuniary interest in the contract or purchase, if the contract or purchase will result in an increase of income or net worth of the public servant, or the dependent of the public servant, to disclose that conflict of interest. the documents are there for you to fill out and complete. Once you fill those out, they're uploaded to Gateway, which is online system of state board accounts. So I have those for,
Move to approve the conflict of interest statements.
Been properly moved and seconded to approve the conflict of interest statements as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Okay, with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn the Board of Finance.
I make a motion to adjourn the finance.
Been properly moved and seconded to adjourn the Board of Finance meeting. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. And that's it.
now we're done.
Okay, very good. Now we'll have our next meeting in February. So, thank you all